Hey, it's Bea. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'll be sharing with you how I edit my photos.
I've been on my way up, now it's really far down.
So I read a lot of comments asking me how I edit my photos or what application I use to edit my photos, and so I decided to make a video on how I edit my photos. So let's make your photos look cute.
I keep falling for you.
So yes, the app I use to edit my photos is Adobe Lightroom. So before I show you how I edit my photos, here are some before and after pictures.
In the clouds when it's pouring rain, ain't never coming down unless you call my name.
So in this video, I'll be showing how I edited photos that I took using my phone. And at the end of the video, I'll be sharing with you a secret tip or trick that I use that can make your photos look so much better. So first, let's launch the Adobe application. So here's a photo that is unedited that I took using my iPhone. So here's the photo. Now we will be editing it. So in the Adobe Lightroom, so first let's go to the Develop tab, and then here are some settings that you can use to edit your photo. So the first thing I do is to edit the temperature. So for the temperature, you can either make the photo cooler or warmer. For me, I like photos that are warm, so I adjust it a little bit to the right, around +4. Next is the tint. So for the tint, you can make your photos look greener or more purple, but usually I don't really adjust the setting, but for now, let's make it +10. Next, for the exposure, I want to adjust it a little bit to the right, so mga 20. And then for contrast, if you want photos na that's a little bit gray or like grayish or dull, you can adjust the contrast. So as you can see, if you increase the contrast, mas obvious yung mga shadows, but if you decrease it, kasi less prominent ang mga shadows. For this photo, I'll be decreasing it to -21. So next, for the highlights, since this photo is a little bit overexposed, I usually decrease the highlights so the white is not so glaring. Parang mas matte siya if liitan mo yung highlights. I'll also be doing this to the white, so -100. Para hindi siya masyado super glaring or exposed yung mukha ng picture. Next, for the shadow. Usually for the shadows, I like to increase it. So if you decrease the shadows, as you can see, mas magiging dark yung shadows, mas maging prominent siya, like sa contrast. So for me, since I like bright and airy photos, and if gusto nyo na ganung photos, kaya hindi masyado hindi ganun kasi taasan mo yung shadows. So for this photo, tataasan ko ng mga 43. So keep in mind if you're adjusting your shadows, especially if dark yung hair mo, kasi magiging grayish yung iyong hair, like this. So if you adjust mo yung shadows, keep in mind na may effect siya sa hair mo. So for this photo, mga 43. Okay, so that's it. Next, for the blacks, I like to increase it to 44. Since gusto ko na mas bright and airy na photos, kasi tinataasan ko to. As you can see, less prominent yung mga black na colors. Ito naman dark. So, since medyo summery yung feel ng photo na ito, gawin natin 44. So from this pala, you can see na may difference na siya from the original photo. Ta-da! Let's adjust the texture and the clarity. So for the texture, I'm going to decrease it. Ganyan, mga 30. So if you increase the texture, as you can see, mas detailed siya, and well, mas nakita yung blank siya sa iyong face. So I like to decrease the texture para mas clear. May dreamlike effect siya, so para siyang dreamy aesthetic. If you decrease it, kasi less prominent siya, so para nagsasoften yung mga features mo. So for the texture, let's put it at -30. Next, for the clarity, if you decrease mo yung clarity, parang super soften na talaga siya, and then if you increase mo, kasi mas clear or mas distinct yung photo. So I like to increase it a little bit. Since i-decrease natin yung texture, I will be increasing the clarity. So mga 14. Yan. Next is the dehaze feature. So for the dehaze feature, I'm going to increase it mga +6. Next is for the vibrance and the saturation. So since gusto ko na may summery feel ang photo, increase ko konti ang vibrance. So the colors of the fruits will be more pretty. And then for saturation, i-increase ko din siya mga 6. Next is the tone curve. So usually ang tone curve kasi recommended na parang S yung shape niya. mag-pop. And then other colors, mas gusto natin na hindi siya masyado mag-pop. Okay, so the first color we're going to adjust is the reds. So let's focus on something red like the apples. So I want to make the reds less red or less saturated, so increase ko siya mga 5. Next, for the orange, I want to make it -1 para mas orange siya konti. And for the yellow, -13. Then for the greens, let's focus on the watermelon. And then I'm going to decrease it to 18. So more of try lang talaga itong pag-edit ng photo according to what you want the photo to look like. 14, then automatically, ganyan na siya. Then next, for the noise reduction, let's increase this a little bit. So that's how I edit my photos. So yun. So this is the final product. So let's crop it muna para mas maayos. The following grid lines para maging straight siya, or you can also use the guide. So any lines in your photo you can use as a guide to make your photos look straighter. Yeah. So i-follow natin yung rule of thirds. So ang rule of thirds, kasi imagine mo na yung photo mo is divided into 3 squares, tapos mas aesthetically pleasing siya if yung subject is nasa dalawa na squares, like this one. So there you have it. So next, I'll be showing you the simple trick or tip that I use that can make your photos look better. So let's scroll down. So I don't know if a lot of people know this, but so I just recently discovered this. So in the lens correction, you can enable profile corrections. So it corrects the distortion caused by the lens of your camera. As you can see, the difference is not so big naman, but it makes your photos look much more appealing or much better. So that is the simple tip or trick I use to make my photos look better. So I'll be showing you the before and after. So here's the before and after of the photo. So as you can see, the photo on the right, or the edited photo, looks so much better than the photo on the left. So we were able to fix a little bit of overexposure, and we also made the colors of the fruits more realistic, since yung color nito kasi medyo dull siya and unappetizing. So that is it for today. That is how I edit my photos using Adobe Lightroom. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!